It's Wednesday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Murayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Obiachulu in the building. Yo. Welcome back. Welcome back. Good to have your fans have been missing you. Where is Obiachulu? Please tell them, where did you go?
I went on vacation now. I announced it before
you
leaving.
did. Some of them missed it.
Yeah, they missed the announcement. But I went on vacation and I missed you guys. I really missed you guys. At some point, I was like, well, this vacation is too long. I'm not doing anything here. I need to go back, you know. But I had a good time, you know. It was a good time bonding with the children as well. We're in one space.
You can't send them to their room. You're in the same
There's no room to settle. We're in one space, and for me, it wasn't a vacation. A vacation for them because they had fun. But as parents, I kept shouting, I kept screaming, I kept cooking, you know, it was... But I had fun, at least. Now, immediately we got back, I said, everybody, face your room. Remove your items from my room. I don't want to see you people for the next 2 weeks. Everybody should stay in their space. I needed to, you know, breathe. Yeah. But it's good to be back. So what has been happening in our country?
In our country. When she was reading papers, I said, do you even understand the English they are speaking?
No clue.
She had no idea. He has sticky paper. Anyway, good to have you back.
Thank you.
Hey, Mariam, how you doing?
Fine, thank you. I mean, we have chocolates and all sorts of stuff. So we're going to feast. That's what we're saying. Thank you, Obiachulu, and welcome back. We have missed you like incredibly. So welcome back.
Thank you.
Mariam, I like a picture of you feasting on the chocolate.
She would do.
I would. This one, you are flying to Nigeria. Take a picture and post it because I like to see that. How are you doing, Tokwe?
I'm good though. I've been waiting, so I am going to be off the show for a few days next week so that I can rest.
Because this is bad.
Small work.
This small work.
Expect that now that you're back, you'll be humble.
Exactly. Because we have been
holding the fort. Please.
You know, and for those that thought that she had run away, she did not run away. She did not jackpad because they were asking me, has she jackpad? Yes. They felt maybe she had jackpad. I said, don't, just calm down. You will soon find out.
Where are you going next week?
I want to, honestly, I'm taking even social media break. Just 3 days. I'm dropping my phone and having time in nature. I want, it's the nature therapy. See the water see me. See tree see me. And then we just connect back with nature. That I'm looking for.
Come and sit down in my house and do that.
Exactly. She has a lot of...
Actually, I need one of those things.
Yeah. 3 days, no phone, just breathe.
Wow.
And I'm looking
forward
forward
to
it.
Come back.
Yes. But we have promo going on at our company. Please check out our company on social media. If you don't know my company, where are you? Please don't let us suffer like this. Come and know our company and check out our promo.
Good. Nice. Okay. I'm happy to have Obiachulu back.
Obviously.
You know, it's good to have you back. It's good to get your perspectives and views and everything.
Yeah, definitely.
Mariam and Tokwe have been, I'm
sure Nigerians are tired of hearing our opinion.
You know? But you know, it's always good to have the mix. It's a good mix. Thank you. Good to have you back. All righty, let me go on a quick break. When we return, we look at the front pages of the papers. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. All right, so we're going to start with The Nation. I will break all barriers for investors, Tinubu assures. CBN to clear $10 billion Forex backlog in 2 weeks. Otedola extols Sanwo-Olu on light blue rail take-off. Okay, which story are we taking The Nation? Which starting with?
I can start with the Central Bank of Nigeria, and they said they are working with commercial banks to clear $10 billion foreign exchange backlog within the next 2 weeks. This was said yesterday by the acting governor for Lashodun Shonubu, and he said that the backlogs will be cleared through different structures within the forex market. He went ahead to say that the central bank the banks actually control 75% of the forex transactions, and they will play a significant role in seeing that the backlogs are cleared. And the backlog estimated about $10 billion US. This comes from requests from manufacturers and importers purchasing raw materials, people who want to pay their children's school fees, people who want to do their medical bills abroad, travelers, sourcing for business, travel allowances, that's the BTAs, and also the personal travel allowances, the PTAs. So this, they said they've been working hand in hand to see how they can help people. I remember when we were about to travel, we could not even get the PTA from the banks because there was no Forex. But this is like a welcome development. Let's see how, especially for businesses that are sourcing directly from the black market right now. They're not, prices of things have really increased because they can get, from the official rate. All right,
let me take a story. Billionaire businessman Femi Otedola yesterday extolled the Lagos state governor over the takeoff of the Blue Light Rail. According to him, excuse me, he says this should gladden the hearts of Lagosians. This is because the idea of governance is to build world-class infrastructure. World-class infrastructure. He said that the governor is showing uncommon leadership, focus, determination, willpower to deliver even in the face of very limited resources available to him. He has remained undeterred and unwavering. This particular rail, even though it took a long time, he has shown tremendous courage that he's capable of doing the heavy lifting. So many Nigerians are obviously very proud of the takeoff of the light blue rail. All right, moving on.
Okay, so I have this, our president was in India and New Delhi, and he had a meeting with the CEO of Hinduja Group of companies, and at the meeting he spoke. He says that all barriers to investment will be dismantled by his administration to rekindle confidence in Nigeria's economy. The Hinduja Group of companies is a conglomerate with a total asset portfolio exceeding $100 billion. And then the meeting, the CEO proposed an automobile manufacturing deal with Nigeria. And, our president was at that meeting also with our ministers of finance, Wale Edun, trade and industry, Dr. Doris Uzoka, Aniti, and then the foreign affairs ambassador. And while he spoke, he was like, quickly, based on this, go ahead with what is needed for them to make it easy for them to come into Nigeria. And the billionaire said that he's tried to do business here in Nigeria before, where bureaucracy stalled it for over a year, but that he believes in our president. He knows of him. He knows of the work he's done in Lagos State and how he understood challenges and he fixed it. So he's quite confident, that we'll work together. So this is a positive thing. What our president is trying to attract investors back into Nigeria. And if there's a manufacturing plant like that, it will mean more jobs for Nigerians as well. So.
Okay, Tokwe.
So, Festus Keyamo speaking concerning the fact that in 12 months' time we're going to have, Abuja would have a second runway. It will be ready. He said this particular project has been having controversies for a long time. Since Obasanjo's time, they've been expecting, even when they had to fix the current runway, everybody that was coming to Abuja had to use the Kaduna airport because there was no alternative. So he said that he has had a meeting with the FCT ministers. We're happy to hear that our ministers are working hand in hand, and that the fund had actually been paid to the FCT for them to move the obstacles out of the way, resettle people that had settled on where the path for the second Abuja runway, and now they're already disbursing money to them. And then they would clear, and in 12 months, we should have the second runway. They say it will be a gateway to Abuja, and it will be extremely important that they already have all the agencies that are going to work. The National Assembly, the presidency have already said they will give them the support needed. That's giving the aviation minister the support needed to deliver this project in 12 months. So I think
okay, moving on quickly now to the Punch. Presidential poll heavy security as tribunal decides Atiku and Obi's petitions against Tinubu today. Dollar debts, CBN repays banks next week. Naira may rebound. Fund regional rail projects, FG tells governors. World Bank delays 8.6 billion naira loan to Nigeria, says report. Oshodi bus terminal decaying, motorists lament. Violence rocks Lagos community as task force officials kill driver. And Lagos Castina Sokoto workers shun NLC strike grounds Abuja state. Okay, which story are we starting with in Punch?
There's a picture story here showing the multi-million naira Oshodi Bus Terminal 1 in Lagos State, and people have been lamenting the poor condition of the infrastructure in the facility. I remember when I saw that place, it was beautiful, but with the picture in front of the papers right now, it's not looking good at all. So according to the story, it said the terminal is divided into 1, 2, and 3 for interstate transportation for destinations like southwest, southeast, and northern states. And they have different facilities inside those terminals. They have loading bays, ticketing stands, driver lounges, parking areas, restrooms, and many others. And they had spent about $70 million to put that project. However, it's showing that a lot of the facilities are in deplorable states. There's no proper management. The drivers are not able to use the toilets for fear of infection. It is so bad that drivers and people who work there passengers are actually complaining. And the advice is that the government needs to fix this. They shouldn't have even let it get to this point. It was something that was done just a few years ago. They should fix this. If they need to, get a company, maybe a management company. No, it's wickedness. This is spent money to do.
Yeah, but
why don't you manage it?
Use optimally because it's too large for.
Yes,
it's too large for who? For government?
No, I'm saying like the buses are not really using it. Nobody is really going through those bus stops. They are still at the ground. Nobody's really using those terminals. So it's probably dilapidating due to abandonment, lack of use. So it's not like it's
which drivers and passengers did they interview? Because Punch went there to carry out the interview.
Okay, let me take the story from the Minister of Transportation, Saidu Alkali, said that the government should partner with each other to develop their transportation infrastructure, as it would go a long way in addressing concerns in the sector. He was saying this at the 2023 Inauguration and Orientation Summit at the Nigeria Transportation Commission's Forum. He was specifically saying that teamwork, pair mechanism is a great idea, and that is why the forum excites him to be saying this, said that they need to remove individualism and leverage their corporate strength together. So all the various states within the different regions should put resources together to build a real interstate rail project that would help and ease transportation. States that cannot pay their salaries, but I hope that they're able to get the funds. It's a good idea, though.
Can I take the story about the NLC strike? So NLC had declared a 2-day strike that was supposed to be yesterday and today, but the news is getting to us from Punch is that Lagos, Katsina, Sokoto didn't comply. They said the banks were thought to join, but the banks didn't join as well. However, they grounded all activities within Abuja. The FCT was 100% compliant. They also said that Delta, Bayelsa, Ogun did not comply with NLC's directive to shut down activities in commencement of the strike. Some parts of Lagos observed, majorly the Nigerian Port Authority, but aviation went ahead with their activities. The strike is supposed to be a preparation for the shutdown, which they say would start in 21 days. And the decision was taken based on the National Executive Council meeting that held last Friday. We're hoping that the NLC leadership would sit down with the Labour Minister and we're able to resolve this issue before we have like a total shutdown of the economy.
All right, let me go on a quick break. When we come back, we continue with our show. Stay with us. We'll be right
back. Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Moving on now to Vanguard. Strike halts activities in rivers, Osun, Edo, Kano, Kaduna, and Cross River. Despite slight improvement, reign of terror continues. PEPT, Justice Odili's pre-judgment remarks is worrisome, says LP. Few subsidy interests fighting us, says Shetima. 1 killed as task force truck drivers tout clash at mile 2. Our founding fathers won independence, failed to build a nation, says Jonathan. NNPP crisis deepens as faction expels Kwakonso. APC's past rejection of fuel subsidy removal was political. Presidential poll, the 4 men, woman who will decide the fate of Tinubu Atiku today. Okay, which story are we starting with in Vanguard?
So I'll take NEC, that's the National Executive Committee of New Nigeria People's Party, NNPP. As we know, I think we've all heard that they had expelled its presidential candidate, Senator Rabiu Kwankwaso. They said this was because he had refused to appear before the party's disciplinary committee on allegations of mismanagement of funds and also anti-party activities. They had, first of all, he had been suspended by the party's leadership. I think this was August 29th. And then the disciplinary committee was set up. When they invited Kwankwaso to defend the allegations against him, he didn't appear. And they had set a warning that if he didn't appear, it would mean expulsion from the party. And that's what they went ahead to do. But we also have other factions of the party saying that those who expelled Senator Rabiu Kwankwaso had no constitutional authority to do so. And it's talking about factionalized divisions within the party. And also they're saying that this, the crisis within the NMPC started when the National Working Committee of the party that are loyal to Kwankwaso announced the suspension of the founder of the party, Dr. Boniface Aniebonam, and the National Public Secretary. So obviously, since there are two factions and they are warring between them, so we'll see how they resolve that.
So protesting truck drivers yesterday barricaded Yoshodi Apapa Expressway, Lagos, over the alleged killing of one of their colleagues by a policeman attached to the Lagos State Task Force. So according to the story, they said the task force arrived at the mile 2 end of the expressway at the early hours of yesterday to impound trucks that usually would block, the center of the road. And so they found this Toyib Girisi, who was parked in front, blocking others. And, they tried to get him out, tow his vehicle out, which he refused. They got into a struggle, and one of the policemen shot him from behind. According to eyewitnesses, they said this is a very young man. He's 25 years of age, and he just rented an apartment recently. He was just loading, to go somewhere else. And they said his mother just left that vicinity not long ago before this accident happened. So the defunct Council of Maritime Transport Unions and Association, COMTWA, condemned the killing of the truck driver, saying that the government has to do something about this. They want proper investigation. They want the people who have done this to be punished. They want to give a conducive environment to everyone who is working. Your rights must be protected, and we cannot keep having this sort of shootings.
All right, so our former president, Goodluck Jonathan, was speaking at the book launch and 60th birthday anniversary of Professor Udenta, and part of one of his speech was saying that our founding fathers, they deserve the credit for the struggle for independence, but they failed woefully in they did a poor job at nation building. According to him, he said that, he said, I'm not blaming our founding fathers, but they failed to integrate us into a proper nation. They operated as individuals. Have we been able to convince ourselves whether we're a state or a nation? If we're a country and a state, how do we become a nation? He said, according to him, he felt that most of our founding fathers were very individualistic. They focused on ethnic politics rather than building us together as a nation. That he's not blaming them, but the truth is that there's a lot of room for us to become a proper nation. There's no sense of commitment to integrate Nigeria into an entity that you can say, yes, it is a nation with core values, common philosophy, and the people with the patriotic sense of thinking. So, interesting perspective. I'd really like to even read the book.
On the 1st of September 2023, a very young cadet, Sulaiman Jeka, lost his life at the Nigerian Police Academy in Kano State. His death has led the Acting Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetoku, to set up a 7-man committee to investigate over the next 4 days what led to his death. Of course, the acting IG commiserated with the family, but felt that it was a very promising young man who suddenly lost his life, and they felt, aside from commiserating with the family, they needed to get into what would have led to the cause of death, and they are assuring the family that they would get to the bottom of it. They have put together a panel that is being headed by the Force Criminal Investigation Department head in Abuja, Abiodun Alabi. He has a mandate to conduct an impartial investigation into all the circumstances surrounding the cadet's death, and we're hoping that this justice would bring comfort to the family of the young man.
That was really a sad story. If you're seeing the picture, such a young boy, and there are allegations of starvation, they are not being fed properly, so it's important that the family gets
impartial.
Some sort of, I don't even know if they can ever get closure from that tragic loss.
Moving on now to the Nigerian Tribune. Tight security as court delivers presidential election verdict today. IGP orders probe of cadet officer's death at police academy. Ekiti residents cry for help as gunmen abduct 4 farmers 5 days after killing one. 1 killed as truck drivers task force clash in Lagos. We played mayor politics with protests against fuel subsidy removal in 2012, says Fayemi. FG cancels Intel's pilotage monopoly, engages 4 new firms. And NLC strike banks, court sports officers shut down. You guys not notice this is our new minister. Paid, I think, about 3 or 4 papers for the front page. This is the minister that was saying that Minister of Interior that was speaking very confidently against how we Nigerians are made to stay months before getting their passports. And he was well praised and celebrated. And he's celebrating again 100 days of the president on front page. So that costs a lot of money.
Costs a lot of money.
A lot of money. So we're watching you, Mr. Tunji Ojo.
Yeah, we will not judge you based on this one. We're judging in our mind, but we'll not say anything.
We're keeping it down.
We're just holding it.
Yeah.
We've seen it and we have kept it. Okay.
In our book.
All right.
Yeah, so ahead of today's judgment in the 3 petitions challenging the declaration of Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the winner of the February 25th presidential election, they said some television stations have set up sharp to broadcast, live. They set up as early as 3 p.m. yesterday. And they said they also ensured security and orderliness of the proceedings so that the security is so tight that 30 minutes distance from the court is well secured already. And they said about 50 media organizations, both Nigerian and foreign, have submitted their names to the Court of Appeal for fresh accreditation and permission to access the courtroom and its premises today. So everybody's looking forward to it, and they're asking that Nigerians just calm down, take it easy. Let's see how, since it will be broadcast, we'll see everything transparently and live. Yeah.
Any other story in Tribune? Are we done?
I think this is in Ekiti. Yes, they said less than 5 days after the killing and kidnapping of some residents in Itakpa G Ekiti, Ikole local government area of Ekiti State, they said government have struck again in the community. They said that the victims were kidnapped on Monday evening. They were returning from farms a few days after 1 person was killed and 2 others were abducted by the gunmen who attacked. The Speaker for the State House of Assembly lamented the increasing attacks on the people in the local government area. It's calling on the state government to equip Amotekun Corps towards confronting these gunmen. Eyewitnesses said that the 4 victims had worked on a farm. So there's a commercial farm that belongs to a popular cleric in the community, and people would go there to farm. They were accosted on their way back. So I do, it's security situation. We talk about the north, you hear it in the southwest, it's just widespread really. And where we have local vigilante groups that can help, we should equip them in the way that they're able to protect their communities.
So there's been a lot of controversy concerning NPA and Intel, the contract that they had. And now the federal government has cancelled Intel's pilotage monopoly. This was due to the fact that there was a record of $500 million loss in the past 3 years due to the inability to appoint substantive monitoring agents in the past. So the monopoly used to be managed by Intel's Nigeria Limited. There were controversies around how that contract was suspended because they said the NPA, if we recall, the NPA cancelled it, and the NPA boss that led to that cancellation was suspended by the minister at the point in time. But finally, in proper processing, the Bureau of Public Procurement has approved for new companies to carry this thing out in different ways. So the Lagos area is handled by the ICA Logistics Limited, while Warri area is handled by Pacific Silverlink. They broke it into different districts to cover the Lagos, Warri, Bonny, Port Harcourt, Ishasha, Calabar local government, Calabar piloted district as well. And all of this, they have a BPP certificate of no objection dated August 30. So there was due process followed. Nobody complained about it. And now there will no longer be monopoly. We're hoping this will bring in revenue.
Yes, fantastic. I'm happy that it's not one person. When we have too much monopoly, that's when there's lots of issues of corruption. But now we have more companies handling this monitoring. This is a good idea. Okay, let's go on a quick break. When we come back, the only news Nigerians are talking about today is the tribunal. What are your thoughts on it? What do you think? What are your expectations? Join us in a moment. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. As we all know, the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal in Abuja today will be delivering its much-anticipated high-stake judgment on the petitions challenging the election of the current president, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. This is going on right now, and there are 3 key pending petitions filed in court in the aftermath of the elections by Peter Obi, Atiku Abubakar, and many other petitions. I think there are about 18 of them. We'll be showing you a bit of some views from the courtroom to see what's going on, and then we'll come back to have a conversation and hear from Nigerians their views, their expectations on the proceedings at the tribunal. Watch this.
Yinka Ajeni Fuja, Esquire. Akintola Makinde, Esquire. Julius Ishola, Esquire. And last but not the least, Taiwo Lakanu, Esquire. Great for me, Lords. Yes. Good morning, my lords. I am Chief Dr. Charles Uwensi Edosawa. I make a humble appearance for the 4th respondent. With me, sirs, Chief Adeni Akintola, SAN. Chief Afolabi Fashanu, SAN. Sam Ologun Risha, SAN. Solomon Moore, SAN. Abdul Mohammed Rafindadi, SAN. My lords, our learned friends of the Altar Bar are also here with us. And they're Omosaya Pupola, Esquire. Olarewaju Onigegewura Akinshola, Esquire. Bolaji Oyun, Esquire. Is Puwaila Muhammad Ibrahim. Thank you very much, man. We're all here for the 4th respondent.
Thanks for staying with us. We'll be going back and forth to the courtroom to just have an idea of the proceedings. But just to, as a reminder, some of the petitions that have been filed that we're going to be hearing from, according to the reports we have here, both the presidential candidate of the APC, of the PDP, Atiku Abubakar, and the LP will be, both of them are asking that the disqualification of Mr. Tinubu to contest the elections in the first place, the legality of the nomination of his running mate, the integrity of the election process, and the threshold of the spread of votes used by INEC to declare him winner. So those are the 3 key petitions that we're going to be hearing about here. What are your own general thoughts on it, the mood of the nation? Every radio station, every television station today is focused, as you said in the papers, about 50 media houses already there. Positioned, waiting, everybody's watching live. What are your general thoughts on your expectations?
Okay, one of the reasons I don't like court cases, anything court, is the fact that they will drag and drag and drag. And when you've lost hope, you've forgotten, we've moved on. Nigerians have, the harsh realities, had taken our minds away from, the election. And now it's like a fresh reminder all over again. Oh, what's happening? And I just want to use this opportunity to tell Nigerians that everybody cannot be happy at the end of today. Somebody will be happy and another person will be sad. And whatever faction that you find yourself, just take it and move on. Because we're getting to a point now, we're seeing policies, we're seeing things are being done to move the country forward. And if we now say, okay, we die here, we scatter here because it didn't go in our favor, we'll be taking ourselves back. So let's just wait and hope that it happens. Either way it happens. One person must be sad today, or two people actually, because there are three people in question here. Two people will go home without nothing today, and one person will be declared winner at the end of the day. However sides you find yourself, just understand that this has happened and we move on to the next thing. Right. And Nigerians are waiting, they are hoping. I'm seeing some people fighting on social media already, you know, against each other, and I'm like, are we going back here again? I thought we had moved on, please.
Right. Yeah. And for me I just want to remind Nigerians that Nigeria first. This is about us, this is about our democracy. It does not matter what political parties you belong or affiliations you have. However it ends today, remember this is about our country, this is about Nigeria. So the anger, the dissatisfaction that may come, and even for those who may be winning, you know, that you do that graciously, you know, knowing that these people are, the other factions are also part of Nigeria. I don't want us to forget that. We came through a very rancorous election period. We were talking and scattering each other. We're telling each other some very strong, mean things we shouldn't have said. And we've sort of moved away from that. Let this just be like the final culmination of that sort of feeling. Let's remember we are here for Nigeria, and Nigeria must win no matter what.
Right. So what are your thoughts? Yeah.
For me, I just, every time that our democracy is being tested, this is a test of our democracy. It is good for us as a nation. Especially, we must remind ourselves as a country of what we represent to Africa. There is a wind of coup, there is a wind of crisis across a few countries in Africa. And even though we're not pleased with the democracy or feel like we're getting all the dividends of democracy, we should check out what it would have looked like if we are in crisis. So whichever way it goes, let us appreciate where we are. This tribunal is going to strengthen our democracy. It's the 7th tribunal we are having on a presidential level, and I think there's never been any tribunal where the president was taken out of power. But we've had tribunals where state governors were taken out. So this is not a blanket rubber stamp anything. Anything can still happen today. And I don't want anybody to feel like we are making it sound like it is a done deal. But let us understand that the job now lies in the courts. It is not what we say on TV or what they type on, or what you people type on social media. It is, everything that is happening now is out of anybody's hands. It is in the hands of, you know, I was reading in the paper that the PDP commenced praying from 1 p.m. yesterday in Abuja, and that they prayed till the press time this morning. Yeah. You know, so there's nothing. You know, we pray that no matter what happens, Nigeria remains at peace.
That should be the prayer.
You know, so, and everybody is praying. So I think Nigerians should join in that prayer right now. Number one, understand that Nigeria represents a strength in democracy for the entire Africa. Our ability to strengthen our democracy. Every time we reform, every time we fight it and we come out stronger, we are giving hope to all other African countries that it can work.
Even to add to that, because you just go back from a trip, and I think when we go outside the country and we come back, we will somewhat appreciate our home. I'm not speaking for you, but I'm just saying, most people went to travel like this. You come back and you don't realize, you know what, this is home.
Yeah.
Sometimes if you don't live at all, you just continue to hate your environment. But the moment you go out for some time, you then realize that, you know what, it's not
perfect,
fantastic, but home is home. I mean, I was going to come to the point, the fact that Abubakar, Atiku, and Obi are praying for the court to order a fresh election. Yeah. And they pray that Tinubu and his party, APC, should be barred from participating in it. So in the situation where fresh elections are, maybe this one is totally barred, I mean, are you willing to go back to the polls to vote? I mean, we have no choice, because if the courts say the current president is barred from the new, or maybe barred, the cancel the previous elections, and then he's barred, are people willing to go back again to the polls?
Do we have the resources to do that? So it's not about whether people are willing or not. Can we take another? We know how much we spend to have one election. Can we take another? Can the economy, with what we're going through now, in fact, we could, Abby. As a matter of fact, as I was, asking questions, I wanted to get a few things. Somebody called me and said, Auntie, it's harder now than when you left to. Don't buy nonsense there. Gather your money and come back. Hunger is in the land. Can our economy stand it? Are we going to be looking to borrow money to fund? So I don't know how they want to do it. However, is there any way they can move away from having to do like a re-election? That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, rerun, Yeah. Is there any way we can avoid that? Because the economy cannot stand that right now, except, of course, we don't mind borrowing. The ones who are borrowed, we're not able to pay. And I don't even know who is willing to borrow us money again to do like another election.
We're going to break now. When we come back, we'll discuss the security. The police are everywhere, the numbers of lawyers in the courtroom. There are various parts of this conversation that is yet to be discussed. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still discussing our views on the fact that today is the D-Day, highly anticipated judgment of the elections that had just passed in February 25th of this year. Mariam, you're going to say something for everyone.
Yes, so I was going to say, hearing Obiajulu, I'm like, Auntie, this is our democracy. We were broke before the last election. We'll do it again if we have to. Wow. I mean, it's about justice. It's about our unity. And we know if a faction of a group of Nigerians feel aggrieved and the courts have proven, their right to that sentiment, or they've proven that there was an issue with the election, then we must, whether we like it or not, if we have to scale down the process or the way it was done initially, we will have to do that. That is such an important, it's so important that we need to do that. And I feel that Nigerians, that's what all we're thinking about. We will survive. We will, from there, we will launch and then we'll do it better. With all Nigerians, one presence of the same mind, knowing that the courts did their part and now Nigerians will do their part in solidifying democracy.
Nima sent us a message that it's not what we are saying here, it is how well the lawyers have done their job. Because we also need to know, before we started our conversation, the lawyers were introducing themselves at the tribunal, and the responsibility of the lawyers is to speak on behalf of all the candidates. Yeah. And these people have done the best they can do. And the judgment, this is a judgment. Like, you will see the result of how we're able to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. And the ability to prove beyond a reasonable doubt will lie within the lawyers, the evidence being presented, and
how they're able to argue their case.
How they're able to argue the case. So whether I feel or I don't feel, if I don't have any proof to back up what I feel, then nothing is going to happen. So a lot of proof have been presented, and there's still timeline. I know that the final day is on the 6th of November. There would be...
That's if there's an appeal.
If there's an appeal.
Right.
That's the
final. So regardless of the judgment today, they can still the losers can appeal, and they have till November 6th, which is still a good thing. But let's talk about the fact that we woke up this morning and everywhere security, police that we're looking for. Before, we'll be looking for police. Now they're everywhere. What is going on? It's just an announcement that we're waiting for. I mean, as Nigerians, I was scared. In fact, I called my office. I'm supposed to leave. I said, I think I'm going to stay home today because I saw a lot of people say, don't worry, you're staying home now. Be safe, you're home. Everybody's home. Yeah. Look at it, and you said 30 minutes before approaching the courts, it's even already on lockdown.
So that is expected, right? That's also being proactive because we know how we can get. Nigerians are naturally emotional. So people can just decide to take laws into their hands if it doesn't go their way, you know, and it will be unfair that the government just sits back and assumes that everybody will be thinking right at the moment. So it's good that the police presence is there, it's felt, you know that you cannot do anyhow, you do anyhow, you see anyhow, you know. You guide yourself. If you want to get upset and damage your TV, go into your house and do that, not on the streets, not causing mayhem and all of that. We cannot afford to lose any form of infrastructure right now. No. Nigeria is at a place where we are managing and gathering what we have. So this is time that the government needs to protect. However it goes, there must not be any form of disruptions and violence. Yes, so I like that.
And also, we know the DSS had told us, you know, giving warnings that there were some people that were planning to take advantage of the situation and, you know, cause violence. But we're happy that the police, I just feel that you yab them. We see them now, these police officers. Say we don't see them. You know, we see them. But so it's good to see a heavier presence. You know, they have to be
clean uniform.
Yeah, it's good.
I said, I said, what's going on? What's happening, Inspector General?
They brought out the best.
But even, you know what? You know you've been away, so you don't know. But a lot of things have scaled down. Even traffic is very minimal.
Fuel.
So I don't know the person that will be on the streets. I don't know what they would have eaten. We are looking for palliatives up and down. What palliative? They will tell us what palliative they got, that they got the threat to come and be protesting, violence on the streets.
Yesterday,
no.
On camera. He didn't look very palliative.
See, we need to go to that NLC office. There's something happening. They were all looking rotund. The man
was saying we were here to let the poor breathe. And I'm thinking,
the common man breathe. I said, you don't look like a common man.
Look like
some people are.
You're breathing really fine, mister.
Some people are blessed. Let's not judge the book by the cover. Because some people, they are blessed that if they eat everything, they will still remain very skinny. And some are blessed that even when they are drinking water, they will be blowing up. So let's just give the benefit of that.
But I must say that this moment actually makes me remember the former president, Goodluck Jonathan, because it was only during his time we did not have these election tribunal petitions. I mean, we've had 79, 1983, 1999, 2003, 2007, 2011, 2019, and now 2023. It was only 2015
he didn't protest.
That we had a president who conceded. I mean, this man is a millennial hero. He's a hero for the millennium. This is somebody that we can continue to say, you know what, regardless of what happened, this is a man that stood for what he believed. So this moment, I'm just thinking, I'm wondering what he's going through his mind. I'm hoping that he's probably worried that the nation would hopefully not, you know, degenerate after the announcement. He's probably thinking of that moment where he also was made that decision not to get to this point. I mean, what are your thoughts on?
Yeah, because the way we heard, of course, we're not with him, that he did it because he thought about the security situation in Nigeria and he put Nigeria first. You know, we have hailed him. Some people thought, what did he do? But I've always hailed him for that singular decision. I feel that, you know, how whatever it is, you know, during his administration, there were lots of criticism. He sort of salvaged his own self out of that administration. He put himself apart by that singular decision, and because of that, we enjoyed 8 years, you know, after that. And because of that, now we can sit down also and have a violent-free tribunal. And it's also interesting to note that almost 3 of those tribunals we had was with our president, Buhari. He did not agree for every time. Every time he came, and, you know, so, and eventually when he ran and he won, you know, it just shows that our democracy is growing, we are strengthening it, and we should have a bit more trust in the process.
Let's see a few comments on social media. I'm going to go on a break. Let us see a few comments because we'd like to hear Nigerians call in to share your own thoughts. Are you fearful? Are you hopeful? What do you think would happen? And what are your own general thoughts on this? We'd like to hear you. Let me go on a quick break. When we return, we'll take a few calls and read some comments on social media. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Okay, thanks for staying with us once again. You can call us on 081-0764-1679, 090-241-63440. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. In a moment, we'll be going back to the courts to see what's going on as they're beginning the proceedings. Just to give you an insight into the names of the judges presiding over the tribunal this morning, there are 5 of them. We have Justice Haruna Tsammani, Justice Stephen Ada, Justice Monsurat Bolaji Yusuf, Justice Moses Ugo, Justice Abba Mohammed, and the tribunal that those who are leading the legal team of each of the main parties. That's Atiku Abubakar is led, the legal team is led by Mr. Chris Uche. And then for the President Bola Tinubu, he's been led by Mr. Wale Onalekpekum. And for Peter Obi, he's been led by Mr. Levi Ozuku. He's the head of the legal team. These are interesting times. Wale Onalekpekum is obviously one person who has serious experience in the
presented the crime, you know, and it's going to be a battle of, you know, facts and evidence today, a battle of English language. You will hear what you've not heard in a very long time. And I wish all of them the best, and I hope for them that, you know, you wish Nigerians the best. And I like the fact that, you know, we highlighted what Jonathan did, how he was able to concede during his time because he didn't want any form of violence. He put the nation first before his personal interest. And even if any of these people today don't put the nation first, can we Nigerians put ourselves first? By not allowing ourselves to be used to fight unnecessary fights. Because at the end of the day, we are the ones that will bear the brunt of every fight that happens. It's the children who are supposed to be in schools that will lose their lives. It's the people who are supposed to be minding their business that will lose their businesses, you know. At the end of the day, the people who would set you up to fight against each other have their security details. They are not involved. They will not be involved, and they will not lose their life. So let's put our nation first. However the outcome, whoever you're supporting, whoever comes out, if it doesn't favor you, it's okay. Carry your bag, go to your... See, you have work to do. At the end of the month, you'll be asking yourself, have I made anything to feed my family?
Okay, let me take this call. Good morning. Are you there? Thanks for calling.
Yeah, thank you. I'm first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Well, I really want to contribute to this matter, this viewing.
Can't hear you. Can you speak a bit louder, please?
I want to contribute my
yes, please.
view on this matter.
Please go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was listening to a particular television station this morning, and so...
Yikes. Kemi, are you there? Oh, we just lost that call. Any comments on social media yet? What do you also make of the fact that our president is not in the country? I mean, this is such an important judgment, and this was announced on Monday. No, although I'm sure they probably planned ahead of time, but it is such an important judgment. Shouldn't he have maybe delayed a bit before going to India?
The country continues. The governance continues, and he already has a very strong person representing him. They're both on the ballot. So as long as if it wasn't something very important, then we could even understand. But he is representing the country, and I don't think that we should pause our lives because we are waiting for what judgment would say.
I agree, because, you know, in his own case, he's both president and, you know, has to be in court, and the business of Nigeria has to continue. I took in the papers that he was already talking with a $100 billion conglomerate in India, talking about how they can have a manufacturing plant here in Nigeria, and talking about how this will impact us employment-wise, you know. And so, and however it goes, we would not forgive him if he says, I had to come and sit down, and we now put this on hold, put that on hold. Nobody wants to hear. So he has to do both. And if the court accepts that he can be represented as any of the other candidates, then I think it's okay that he is not.
Let me take Mrs. Okpara. Good morning, Mrs. Okpara. Thanks for calling in.
I'm saying that my contribution is that how will 3 people be fighting for one seat? The 3 people that are fighting for one seat, I don't know. The 3 people are fighting for one seat. Obi and Atiku, they are rubbish. So I don't know why they should be fighting. The 2 people are fighting. I'm number 1. I'm number 1. They know it's number 1. The 2 of them are not saying the truth. They don't believe the people being saying the one is the winner. Why Atiku is saying the winner? Why
Mrs. Okpara, just for a bit more enlightenment on this. So they're asking that the results be cancelled. One of the parties asking, yes, you're right, one of the parties asking to be declared the winner. Others are asking for a rerun, right? And others are even saying they should totally bar APC. So there are different parts of this. So they can win one and lose one. All their various petitions. So we'll see how it goes. But not all of them, not all three are saying to be declared winners. There are different petitions. But we'll wait and see which is which. Any more comments on social media? We'd like to hear Nigerians' views on this. It's important to hear your views. Again, please don't call to insult. We're just trying to get your general views on this. Thank you so much for the callers we've had so far.
You know, we are not getting in a lot of messages on social media, and I understand why a lot of people are watching. And if you're like me, when you see the lawyers with the wig and gown, and the way they speak, I always wait for an interpreter when they finish to help explain. So I guess we'll wait for, a lot of us will be waiting to see, you know, if they can, when they start to break it down for us. I personally, when I see them, I'm just quite dumb.
But there's an important part of this petition, which I think we've not even discussed about. I mean, we might not be able to comment on it, but the fact that the petitioners also similarly alleged that Mr. Tinubu's running mate, Shetima, was illegally nominated for 2 separate constituencies in the same election cycle as Borno Central senatorial candidate and vice presidential candidate for the whole of Nigeria. Now, that is really, really tricky because they're on a joint ticket, and if they find him invalid, it might affect the president himself. So this, as I said, is a 3-4 leg petition that one, if you win one, you may lose the other, and you know we don't know what's going to cause a need for a rerun. But we'll see. As I said, we'll wait for what the tribunal says, and let's go on a quick break now. When we come back, we'll take a few more phone calls before we wrap up. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right.
Thanks for staying with us. We're told the judgment has started. Let us go straight to the tribunal right now.
Reply to the third respondent's reply to the motion filed on 20th April 2023 to the applicant's reply to the petition, and for such further orders as this honorable court may think fit to make in the circumstances. The grounds have also been referred to in this ruling. We have also considered the submissions of counsel. Now, it is apparent that the first respondent's motion filed on the 6th of May 2023, the second respondent motion filed on the 8th of April 2023, and the third and fourth respondent motion filed on 13th May 2023 are all aimed at having certain paragraphs of the petition replies to the respective replies of the respondent's replies to the petition stuck out. The common ground in all the applications is that the averments in the petitioner's reply have introduced new facts, new issues, facts, and or grounds to the petition. Furthermore, that some of the averments are rehashed or repetition of the averments in the petition file. That those averments in the petition replies offend paragraph 16, subparagraph 1A and B of the first schedule to the Electoral Act 2022. The said paragraph to the Electoral Act stipulates that, I quote, if a person in his reply to the election petition raises new issues or facts in defense of his case, which the petition has not dealt with, the petitioner shall be entitled to file in the registry within 5 days from the receipt of the respondent's reply, a petitioner reply in answer to the new issues or fact, so that A, the petitioner shall not at this stage be entitled to bring in new facts, grounds, or prayers tending to amend or add to the contents of the petition filed by him, and B, the petitioner reply does not run counter to the provisions of paragraph 14.1. In my view, the provisions of paragraph 16.1 of the first schedule to the Electoral Act 2022 are clear, unequivocal, and unambiguous. It does not, therefore, require any technical rule of interpretation to understand or to be understood. From a holistic reading of that provision, it will be seen that it is meant to explain the purpose of a petitioner's reply to the respondent's reply. His purpose is to raise answers to the defense or any fact which must be specifically pleaded and which has the effect of destroying the respondent's defense or make it not maintainable. The bottom line is that a petitioner is permitted by the first schedule to the Electoral Act 2022 to file a reply while the respondent to the petition has in his reply raised new issues of fact in the defense, which fact the petitioner has not dealt with in the petition. However, in doing so, the petitioner reply shall not introduce new facts, grounds, or prayers tending to amend or add to the contents of the petition. I've cited the case of APC and PDP that petitions apply. It is therefore clear that paragraph 16.1 of the first schedule to the Electoral Act does not permit a petitioner in his reply to introduce or bring in any new issue or fact which ought to have been raised in the petition itself. In other words, a petitioner cannot, in the guise of a reply to a respondent's reply, introduce a new issue or fact which was never raised in his petition nor raised by the respondent. To do that will amount to amending or adding to the petition and also taking the respondent by surprise, because at that stage the respondent will not be in a position to react to such new issue or fact. It will therefore breach the respondent's fundamental right to fair hearing. Therefore, the petitioner is not permitted to appear.
So they've started reading the judgment and will definitely be in and out of the courtroom. But it's just, I mean, I'm trying to put myself in Vice President Kassim Shettima's mind right now. Like in the next few minutes, you could either be sacked or not. You know, like you are in a position already. And based on the happenings right now, you could just go home being Mr. Shettima. You know, there's a possibility, just in case it doesn't go the other way. So what are the emotions? What are you thinking at this moment? If you were the Vice President?
I don't know if I'll be thinking at Shettima I could be sacked. I'll be thinking if I'll be going for an appeal. That's how I would rationalize it. Like, okay, so that means we have to go on an appeal because...
fight again.
Yes, we fight, obviously, because we have to fight it, you know. So I think that that's where they would be thinking. But also, I'm looking at the, you know, the courtroom. There are many other people there as well, the ministers, you know, all the supporters of APC, they're there. And I can... and then the anticipation of LP, especially. PDP is a... they've been there
several times.
For LP, this is new for them. You know, even with the election, it was quite new. Emotions were high. For them, this will be such a, like almost like a welcome party. However it goes, you know, it solidifies them and their fight for democracy and in the political sphere. So I know that there's anticipation on all sides right now. But for the ruling party right now, I don't think they're thinking we'll be sacked, but they're thinking if we have to, that means we have to appeal this. What are the steps that we need to take to do that?
Okay.
In my head, you know, I'm a very, the way politics plays and the way politicians have to be confident, they would not, nobody there is entertaining the thought that I really want to lose. Everybody in that courtroom will be telling you, we are winning today. Even the Labour Party will say, I'm winning. PDP will say, I'm winning. You see everybody in APC that's sitting there and say, let me just come and mark register, but we know we have won. So there's that, you must carry that positive, and that's me. And I've heard them talk about it. They say, when we are declared the winners, I'm like, politicians. So there's an assumption that I feel that in their mind, I'm assuming that everybody there is thinking, at the end of this reading, I will be declared a winner, and that's what will give them the ability to...
As a political scientist, I now tell you, the confidence is for the people, because you cannot show that you are downcast. You will discourage your followers and your supporters. You must put up that front, even when in your mind you are worried, you are asking yourself questions, did we dot the T's, did he cross, you know, and all of that. So the confidence is just for the people. We have to, there's a way, you know, how back in the days they train kings and queens. There's a confidence you have to even when things are going, when you go to your bedroom, you see, you've brought out all the maps, you are checking where the war is coming, are they hitting us from this side and all of that. But you must come out and present, and that's what we see. But I know that aside from the fact that they may be thinking, so it will go different ways. And I like your own perspective, saying that for me too, I'm someone who will look at, so what's next? What's the worst case scenario? And what's next? What do I do next? I'm always thinking of what do I do next? So as a leader, that should be like where you're looking to, however it goes, because you can never say, when they finish all these their intricacies and all these their loopholes, and one English may just be the thing that will crumble the whole thing. You know, they just find, or lack of the English.
Make you notice your mouth, no person. I was going to say that, what are your thoughts on the live broadcast? I mean, yes, a lot of people debate, we're not happy that the entire proceedings, the earlier proceedings were not live or for us to see all the daily back and forth. But now the final judgment is being run live. What are your thoughts on that? And secondly, I see some empty spaces in the courts. I thought that it would be full to the brim, like people will be standing kind of thing, but it's fairly empty. No, not empty. I mean, it's like 70%. Yeah, it's about 70%. I mean, which is great, but I mean, I would have thought that
security clearances. I'm sure they had to run security checks on everybody that is there, and they want to be sure that everybody has a reason to be there. So if you don't have a concrete reason to be there, you're probably not getting, you won't get approval to come into the place. Nigerians, this is our Gen Z world that we're watching, that most of the people are watching Big Brother and watching all of that. People, the majority of Nigerians
we're watching.
They're watching.
Are you doing the only thing is that we're watching it on TV or watching it online. We may not go all the way. But honestly, if I am not maybe part of the party, even though if it will affect me, I would rather not be there. People, do you know how lengthy these things can go? And the lawyers, you know how we talk. It's not about sensationalism, nothing. It's just about facts. And they would go and give the facts. And if they have to repeat it, they will go back and repeat it. I don't think, apart from in movies, I don't think sitting in a courtroom is
no, it's not interesting
at all.
You know, I mean, this is just showing the integrity of our courts and how we must even believe in the system. Because if you don't believe anything in Nigeria anymore, you can never lose hope in the judiciary. That's our last line, you know, as a people. So I think I enjoy the fact that there's this regard for this, but we're hoping that at this point, you know, Nigerians will be able to trust whatever it is that comes out today, regardless of which side it goes. You know, whatever way, we must be able to trust. We're going to be wrapping up very soon because I know that many Nigerians probably don't want to go straight into the courts to watch what's going on. But what are your own general thoughts on this as I wrap up on this, on the matter of the tribunal being read today? Let me start with UBC. What are your final thoughts to Nigerians as we wrap up?
Farabale. Calm down. God has got us. However it swings, let's just hope that it's for the better. It's going to be for the better. Let's hope that all of the policies that we have on ground would, you know, take us and sort us out. Let's tighten our belts the way we've been tightening it, with grace and the hope that a better Nigeria is coming. Please, however it goes, no fighting, no killing, no violence. We don't need it. We cannot pay with our blood. Please.
All right.
Ditto.
All right, Tope.
What I'll just appeal to everybody is, don't jump into a conclusion. Don't take half of the truth. Don't repost hearsays. Don't post something online that you cannot verify because somebody said it beside you. If you don't have the patience to read the judgment or watch the entire judgment, just keep mute, because misinformation leads to a lot of crisis, and we don't need that in any form right now.
And I think for me, I think I'd like to reiterate what Mariam said much earlier, which is that if in any case there is a need to do a rerun, or we must confidently understand that it's part of strengthening our democracy, and we shouldn't look at it as another trouble starting over all over again. We're going to get it right as a country and as a democracy. So either way, if it goes for the ruling party, oh well and good. If it goes against them, oh well and good, because either way, both will strengthen democracy, because we've all agreed that democracy is the best form of government. We've all experienced, I was mentioned a few days ago, we all experience the military rule. Autocracy is never the way. And they go on decrees. I would never forget what the military did even to my own family and other people I knew about around. So democracy is the way to go. However, everything to strengthen democracy is what we should be looking for. So whatever decision we hear today, let's accept it and hopefully take it in good faith. Now, let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we have a guest. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. As many of you know, on Wednesdays, we like to celebrate women who are doing great things. And today, we have an attorney with over 30 years of experience in diverse areas of judicial science. Her legal experience spans the areas of admiralty law and immigration law, as well as participating in the final phase of a multi-billion insurance class action litigation. She's a certified executive coach, serving as the lead coach, founder of BMO Advisory Services, and founder of the Women's Lifestyle Hub. She's also a non-executive director of Wema Bank. Welcome with us, Mrs. Bola Mata-Oko in the building. Might I add, please, that she was my first pastor's wife when I met in the US. Jesus House, New Jersey. Yes. I mean, when I was down and when I had backslidden, you know when you go to America, you first of all backslide the first 2 years. You now find, I came back, and the church was the first church I attended, Pastor Michelle, and I mean, I cannot believe it. I was shocked when I saw the mirror yesterday. What? Is this the same person? Yes. Good to have you. Good to have you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Thank you so much for having me.
So, you're a lawyer and you're doing so much. Tell us a bit about your journey, your career.
Okay, so I have a way that I like to describe myself. I always say that I'm a pastor by calling. I'm a lawyer by training. I'm a banker by default because I'm not a core banker, but I sit on the board of a bank. And I also say that I'm a podcaster by design. I do have a podcast. It's called the Excellent Life Podcast. And then I'm an executive coach. And most people call me Coach BMO.
Fantastic. So similar
Coach
to our TMO.
Oh, TMO. So we have TMO, we have BMO. Yes, yes, yes. Okay.
Yes, I saw also here, it says you're the founder of Women's Lifestyle Hub.
Yes.
For me, when I hear lifestyle, that's just me. And I'm wondering, what is that about? And
so Women's Lifestyle Hub is a community, a vibrant, I always like to say that, it's a vibrant community of women, executive women, committed to living a life of excellence. And when I say excellence, I always say personal and professional excellence and all-round success. You know, I've been an executive, a female executive now for some 20-odd years, and I recognize firsthand the peculiar challenges we face as women executives. And so for me, I wanted a community where we could have like minds, form strategic relationships, and just kind of grow together as a community. We have mentors, we have coaches in the community, and then we have the executive women.
Yes. How's that working out, like in practical terms? Because, you know, we all have where we drop these ideas, and then when you want to execute it somehow, and you know, especially with the way they say women don't really work well together.
That's so not true. Exactly. You know, it's so interesting. When I launched Women's Lifestyle back in December, I did a montage. There was an opening montage, and it was called Bursting the Myth. And it was all about bursting this myth that women do not support one another. And I traced my own life from my mom, my late mom, how she supported me. And I outlined all the women that have supported me in my own journey. And so I think that a lot of people put that out there just to discourage us. But I have a lot of women in my life that are so supportive, and there are a lot of people too that I support, you know, as a mentor. So yes.
Amazing. So you've listed your CV is quite loaded. You do so many things, and you do them amazingly well. But I would ask you, how did you find the things to do? How did you decide that, okay, I'm going to get into the bank, or I'm going to get into real estate, or I'm going to become a lawyer? What was it for you? Because there are a lot of people out there who are not very clear in what they would like to do, and they are asking themselves, I have so-and-so talent, but I don't know which one is the will of God.
Yes, yes. You know, I always talk about recognizing the seasons of your life. Because, you know, I always say that now I'm doing a lot of things, but I didn't do all these things at the same time. So it's about recognizing the season of your life. I always say to people that I mentor, I say to them, I'm like, don't try and do too much at the same time. Because now I'm in my 50s. And a lot of things I'm doing now, trust me, I couldn't do it 20.
Amazing. For being your 50s. Come on.
Yes, I'm in my 50s. So a lot of things I'm doing now, I could not have done them 20 years ago because I was really focused on being a mom. And so all these things are things that I've been able to do over time. And so I just did an article in The Guardian about having balance, work-life balance. And one of the things I said in that article is that at every point in your life, you must recognize what is important for me to do. And so if you do that, then you're able to concentrate on that and not spread yourself too thin.
I love that answer.
You know, because you know there are times as women we want to do everything, but it's just not practicable. You know, and I started the article by asking a question, can a woman have it all? And I always say it's such an unfair question that only women get asked. Because men are also trying to do all these things, but they never get asked, can a man have it? I've never heard, can a man have it all? But constantly you hear, can a woman have it all? And I always say, yes, we can, but maybe not at the same time. It's all about recognizing your season and what's important in that season.
So I watched your interview with Ibuka Woshika, like when a few months back.
Was that on IG?
Yes, I did.
That's my mentor right there. Yes.
So I follow
I
any opportunity I have to listen to Ibuka Woshika, I don't joke with it.
Yes.
If she's doing any interview, I would watch. So when I saw her interview and I listened to you, I was like, this is somebody I'd love to talk to, and I was so surprised that it didn't even click until you sat down.
Look at that.
I know this woman. I've seen her somewhere.
Yes.
When it comes to mentorship, many people feel, we all know the importance of having a mentor, and we talk about this thing all the time. But what do you see in your journey is the mistakes that, are the mistakes that people are making regarding how to relate, how to meet a mentor, and how to build a good relationship with their mentor that you could share with us now?
So, you know, when it comes to mentorship, because Pastor Ibuka and I we spoke a lot about that, a lot of people, they look at people and they just, on the gut, they say, I want this person to be my mentor. But I think a mentor is something that is not a decision that you should take lightly. And one of the things we talked about in that conversation was, the first question you should ask yourself when you want to have a mentor is, why do I want to have a mentor? And also, you also want to look at the person that you want to have as a mentor. Do they reflect your goals, your values, your vision? And I always say that if you look at my own life and the people I have mentoring me, like Mrs. Aweshika, I always tell her that I feel like when I look at her, I say, when I go ghetto, this is what I want to be. You know, and we just have so many things in common. She also has 3 boys. She's a pastor. She's a banker. So it's all about finding that person that would help you be the best version of yourself. And when I talk about mentor, one important thing to note about a mentor is it is someone who has walked the path that you are trying to walk. So that is so key, because a mentor will be able to say to you, you know what? I've walked this path. I know what works. And so they can guide you in making the crucial decisions that you have to make.
Do you ever have downtimes? Because you look like such a cheerful, bubbly person. Like, does this person even cry? Do they get frustrated?
Yes. It's so interesting. This year did not start the way I envisioned. My mom passed away on the 19th of January, And even recently, I had a personal loss, and I've had things that have not gone the way I want, even in my career this year. And when people always tell me you're upbeat, maybe it's because I'm a Christian, not even that I'm a pastor. Because I'm a Christian, I try to have faith in God. And, you know, the Bible says that God is able to make all things work together for good. So even when things are not working the way that I want them to, I say, you know what, I'm a big girl. My son called me yesterday, and it was so interesting. I told him, I said, do you know that this call really lifted me? Because literally 1 hour yesterday, I had to lock myself in my office and I was crying because I was just, you know, but, you know, at the end of the day, you know what, you move on, you know, and you just trust that things will have a way of working out. So I do have my downtime. Yesterday I had a downtime. 2 days ago I had a downtime. But, you know, this morning I got up and I was, throughout on the way here, I was just playing some inspirational music. And that kind of got me in the right frame of mind.
I was going to say that, you know, when you come to Nigeria sometimes, how has it been getting into the system, Nigerians, especially because Nigeria comes with a lot of pressure of the way you look, the way you are, the clothing, the dressing, the fashion. You know, abroad, you don't just wear a suit and you're okay.
You know,
but here, there's a lot of pressure.
And I know exactly what you're saying. And this is what I say. Confidence is from within. And a lot of people that know me, I always say, I am so comfortable in my own skin. And so I don't even look at what the next person is doing. I'm not designer crazy. As long as it looks nice, you will see me in it. So it's all about your inner confidence. Because when you talk about all these external things, it's all about belonging. You know, so you have to decide for yourself whether or not you want to be your true, authentic self. Because the other thing I've found out in Nigeria is that there's a lack of authenticity, you know, but I stay true to myself, and that's really what my mantra is.
So I'm liking, I'm liking what I'm
I
hearing.
know I have plenty of questions for her.
Go ahead.
Because I was going to ask you a
She comes
question.
across so down to
Yeah.
earth to me and quite relatable. And I love some of the words, authenticity.
Yeah, you have to be your authentic self.
Yeah.
You know, when I live here now, we go out and you will see me in my slippers, and that's just my life. Everybody who knows me, I just don't, I say all these labels, titles, the bags and all that. I couldn't be bothered, honestly. That's just...
How is it being married to a fine...
Please, you
Man,
don't show
her
us the
husband is
And I have
Pastor
3
Mattel.
handsome boys.
David and Daniel, right?
All that.
I think they're David and Daniel too, right?
David Daniel
Yeah,
Joseph.
because I remember that.
You
Yeah.
remember? Yes. I have 3 boys, so I
How?
feel like a queen in my house. I'm the only woman in the
saying.
house. People always ask me, how does it feel being the only woman? I said, I love it.
Let me tell you something.
I
When
love
I
it,
was
love it, love
younger,
it.
this was Pastor Mattel's
Don't tell
church.
me, don't tell me.
And I didn't have a crush on my pastor, don't worry. Because she was there. Pastor B was there. Boy, you cannot try it.
cannot try it.
But Pastor Mattel was very tall, handsome, but strict. I have shared this story to them several times.
you
There was a
serious?
time that I went to the nightclub with my friends overnight. We were in Maryland with for 4 hours. We drove him back to New Jersey. I said, please drop me back in church. Pastor Mattel will be there waiting for you.
Because you were an usher.
I was an usher. I would drop in the car. I would remove all my spaghetti, everything, wear church clothes, enter church and go and usher. Because Pastor Mattel was so strict. Even he's fine man. He's fine man, he's this strict. So how is it? How is it? You know, being a wife to a pastor like that.
Funny.
I was going to ask about marriage as well. Because,
Yes.
you know, we spoke about seasons, and you're currently doing Nigeria, the US,
Yes.
and...
By the way,
how
my
has
husband is on the plane.
Ah.
I'm going to the airport from here. Oh, wow. That's why I'm even bubbly.
How is it living apart, you know?
Oh, wow.
well as
You
dealing
know, so we've been married. It's going to be 30 years next year, actually, yes. We have our next anniversary is our 30th wedding anniversary.
Wow,
And what I always say to people is that it's about building a foundation. And so we have spent many, many years building a foundation that is helping us now. It's about a lot of understanding. I remember when I launched Women's Lifestyle Hub in December, and I had to acknowledge my husband, and I said that the reason I'm able to do what I do is because of your support. And it is not something that I take for granted because it's not automatic. I know a lot of women that their husbands do not support them, but my husband is very supportive because I also support him in the ministry. So I support him in the ministry and he supports me. And he genuinely sees that what I'm doing, I find such joy and fulfillment. And you cannot love a person and not want them to have joy and fulfillment in their
Yes,
life.
I love that. It's so honest, you know, because we would normally expect when it comes to support that it should be automatic. Just
No, it's
hear
not, and
conversation
that's
of
the-
women should submit or men must love, but there has to be like a give and take.
Absolutely.
And because you're a pastor and obviously pastored young people like her, what are some of the differences you would say American youth and Nigerian youth that you meet?
The truth is that there's really not much of a difference. And I think the reason is that everybody is exposed to social media now. You know, when I come to Nigeria, I am so amazed that even young adults in Nigeria, they know everything because there's nothing to hide. I mean, when we were growing up, you had to look for things to find them. So there's really not much of a difference. I dare to say that there are children abroad that are even a bit more respectful and more well-behaved. So I don't think it's actually a function of where you are. I think it's more a function of the upbringing. I have 3 boys, like I said, and I have a 28-year-old, I have a 26-year-old, and my baby is going to be 22.
You know,
Yes,
they
you've got
don't
baby,
look like
22-year-old
baby. They don't look like you've given birth before.
So and you know, I always say that as a mom, the best I can do is to sow the seeds in my children. So sow these seeds, and in time it will germinate. So my 2 oldest children, last year they moved to another state, and this is when I can really say that I see the fruit of all this seed. Because now that they have to live by themselves and make all these decisions, my sons will say to me, 2 days ago, I was talking to both of them, and they're like, Mom, this is when we really appreciate everything that you've been telling us. But when I was telling them, it didn't seem like they were listening.
Let me ask.
So, yes.
Let me talk about intertribal marriage, because in Nigeria, I mean, we discuss it all the time on this table.
Yeah.
People sometimes, families, they love each other so much, but the families find it difficult to accept the love. I know your husband, and both of you are in intertribal marriage. How was it in the beginning?
My husband is a Yoruba.
I know he speaks Yoruba.
He just has an Igbo name. Let me just give you full disclosure there. Because he grew up in Ibadan. And I always say that he speaks better Yoruba than even me. But there was still that element of a different culture that I had to adapt to. So that's always there. And I think that for me, one of the things I always say really helped me, in all truthfulness, is that my husband did not come from a big family, and so I didn't have to deal with too many in-laws. It was basically just his mom, his sister, and his stepdad. So I didn't really have a lot of in-law.
No entourage of Umuada.
So I always say that, look, my husband is from Iseluku, and I've been there all of once in my life. But I know people who are married to Igbo people that go to the East every year.
So I want to bring you back to business, talking about the fact that the board, you have different expressions. That's the way to put it. And how would you help someone navigate? You mentioned about focusing per time, but people transition and wonder how to deal with their transitions. So I find myself, I cannot advise somebody in their 40s or 50s because I've not experienced what you're going through. But what was the biggest challenge, having to release children, having to move from one job to another, opening up a different part of yourself? How do you go from one space into another?
It's really not very easy. For instance, I became an executive coach when I was 53. And I remember that my son, my middle son, he called me and he said, Mommy, do you know I'm so inspired by you that at 53 you're still pursuing your dreams? So it's all about knowing what you want. It's about knowing what you want and setting what I always call attainable goals for yourself. So I've been able to transition. Like, for instance, when I got on the board of Wema Bank, this was like 8 years ago. At that time, I was able to juggle it in a way that I was only here when I really needed to be. And thank God now, with the advent of COVID, a lot of meetings we do now are even like on Zoom. So it's about and I'm a very passionate person. So when I make up my mind I want to do something, I put all of myself into it. And at times I'll be like, you, this girl, you won't kill yourself. Because I just put all of myself into it. I don't know how to do things in half measures. So when I'm doing it, whether I'm doing my podcasting, I'm doing it full stream. When I'm doing my coaching, full stream. Whether I'm being a mom, I'm doing it full stream. You know, because I was just in the US, and honestly, when I want to be a mom, I just shut down. I will go into the kitchen, I will cook. So, you know, it's just about having passion about what I find is that a lot of people do a lot of things, or they want to do a lot of things, not necessarily because they are passionate about it, but just because maybe they say this is what everybody is doing. But the key to really doing whatever you're doing well is to be passionate about it.
So, you have asked all the questions to the Mariah.
I was looking at your eyes already. Go ahead.
I know you're excited. So there are people who decided to maybe put everything down and raise their kids. And in relaunching, sometimes they don't know how to go back. It's not like there was a job waiting for them before. They don't know how to start from the scratch. What would you advise someone who, you know, decided to raise the children and getting close to 50 and trying to find, okay, what do I do now that the kids are out of the house?
I know, because that happened to me. Like I said, I'm a trained attorney, and I remember after I had my third son, because there was a little bit of a gap between my second and third son, because I thought I was done, but everybody was like, you have to have a girl, like I was in control of it. So I decided to get pregnant, and then I had another boy. But, you know, after I had my third son, I kind of just took a break from being a lawyer. I went into real estate, and when I decided to go back into legal practice, it was tough. I couldn't even remember some of the legal terms, you know. Honestly, I remember coming over one day and I said to my husband, They were telling me redact document. I'm like, what is the meaning of redact? You know, so yeah, it is a reality that we have to face. But like I said, if you want it enough, of course, I have a friend that told me she went back to school to study law in her 40s. She was the oldest person in the class. Wow. Some people might not be able to have the threshold to do something like that. So, but it's really about, I mean, like me too, at 53, I decided, you know what, I want to be an executive coach, and I went for it. So it is all about wanting it enough to be able to press through. Because I spent a big chunk of my life just being a mom. And, you know, I don't regret it because those times were very formative years in the lives of my children. Yeah. So it's not something I regret.
Would you say your pedigree helped you a bit, you know, because of your father and way how you grew up? You know, people always think that it's because your daddy is.
No.
I did not even see the daddy. I didn't know about the daddy, but I was just looking at the schools that she went.
No. You know the interesting thing about my life is that I got married very early. I got married at 24. Ooh. So I changed my name at 24. So the bulk of my adult life, I have not had the last name that I would say would help me. So if you don't really know, I don't tell you. So I have had to, and there is a satisfaction I get from being able to do something by my own. And honestly, I always tell people that people don't even understand that my dad is the kind of person that he does not believe in nepotism. Yeah. Because even when I got on the board of WEMA, he was very reluctant. And I said, okay, you know what? I want to do this thing. Let me even apply. And then I had to apply. They had to approve it. They had to go to CBN. And it was, oh, so really you can do it? I'm like, really? So I don't think, I mean, it has helped in some ways. But honestly, I feel like everything I've done, I've been able to do it because I wanted it enough. And I put in everything to make it happen.
So how do you have fun? You know, do you like to travel? What makes you happy?
I have a lot of fun. I have some girlfriends that honestly, because you know, I say when I do presentations, people say that work hard, play hard. That I say work hard, play harder. Play harder because I love to have fun. You know, I have a bunch of girlfriends. In fact, one of them, I call her Minister of Enjoyment. So like I said, in fact, I run a 6-week leadership program, and one of the modules of the program is actually fun and enjoyment. Because what I've found is that a lot of executive women, or women in general, we don't even know how to have fun. So, but I am the kind of person, they don't know. I can let down my hair and have fun. No.
Let me give an example. In church in Nigeria, you know, the women leader will say, women, let's come together, have fun. They'll show up and everybody's looking very serious. Yeah. You know, even you as a church member, you're very prayer time. You feel not even the prayer time. I don't even my prayer.
But how do church women have fun?
How do thank you? God bless you.
Oh my God! There's so many things people can do. Like we're in America. People can go bowling. We do barbecues. There's so many things people can do. Travel. Go and we went to watch this show the other day.
Broadway show.
There's so many things you can do. And honestly, for me, I do things with my church family, but I have the most fun when I'm hanging out with my girlfriends. So I remember that, so I have the people, my girlfriends, we went to secondary school together, we went to Dubai, we're just all over the place. And I know that they are planning, we have our 30th anniversary coming up, so we are planning to actually do another getaway. So yeah,
maybe the church in Nigeria is not having so much fun.
No, but we're having fun.
To a church in Texas.
No, they're having fun. We're having fun.
The kind of music they were playing. No church music, secular, everything secular. They do everything. The way they let down their hair.
No, but you see, my husband says something. That Christianity changes your heart, not your style. And I think a lot of people miss that. They feel that because I know a lot of people that they are very, very modest in appearance, but they are not modest. They are very wicked people, I'm sorry. But you will see people that they will show up, but they really, truly love God. I remember one time, this was when God set me free. I used to be also a bit particular when I first became a pastor's wife about the way people should dress and all that. And then I had this young lady come to church. You could tell this girl loved God. But she would come in her little mini dresses. And then one day God said to me, what you should be looking at is this girl's heart. Because I feel like at times, a lot of us are focused on the external, and we miss the internal. So, like I said, God changes your heart. There are people that
Not your style.
Not your style. I like that. That's why I'm showing up like this.
I hear you talk about my girlfriends, my girlfriends.
Oh, yes,
and,
yes, yes.
You know,
His girlfriend.
They're watching,
We need to build our own girlfriend.
so at the end of the day, somebody is watching and saying, I don't have girlfriends. You know, you're saying my secondary school, I don't have secondary school girlfriends.
Wow.
So how can somebody midlife
Look at
So,
get
you
that
know,
right?
girlfriends around
Exactly.
You know, I live my life very intentionally. That's one of my core words that I use to live my life, intentionality. And so everything, even the Bible says, if you want to be a friend, show yourself friendly. So there are times you have to be intentional about cultivating friendships, nurturing the friendship.
Wisdom.
No, wisdom is the principal thing. So you cannot harvest what you have not sown.
Sown.
Hey, so you have to sow into relationships.
Someone's talking to me
Like
right now.
me.
Talking to me right now.
It's a session.
Talking to me.
But it's serious. You can't understand. Like, for instance, now, I have this friend. She's basically my oldest friend. We've known each other since we were 6. Because we went to primary school together. We went to secondary school together. So this year in May was our 30th wedding anniversary. And she calls me up and she was like, Bonali, I want you to not only come, I want you to officiate the renewal of vows. We want to, my husband and I, we want to renew our vows. And then also you're a chief bridesmaid. I was like, I'm on.
yeah.
So I literally left Nigeria. I was in Nigeria. I left Nigeria, got to the US. The next day, got on a plane to Atlanta because that was where they were having it. And honestly, my husband was like, you just get... And not only did I go, I carried my husband. I carried all my 3 children.
Wow.
That's a
Because our oldest son is also friends with my oldest son. So I was like, let's just make this a family thing. We had so much fun. Intentionality. Intentionality. You have to cultivate
we have to
it.
go.
You have to invest.
There's a question in my mind.
Ask your question.
How are you preparing for the mother-in-law season?
Waiting.
How are you preparing?
My 50th birthday, so they did an interview and they asked me, so what are you looking forward to next? I said, being a grandma. Yes. I tell myself, I say, Daniel, I got married at 24. Yeah, 28. I'm like, mommy, please. Don't give me to 30. But honestly, I am really looking forward to being a grandma.
Mother-in-law.
Yes.
She will be.
I think so.
Yeah, she will be.
You know, I remember that I was talking to a friend of mine and I was like, oh my God, you know, he also has 3 boys. And I was like, oh, I have 3 boys. And I said, don't worry. I made up my mind. I will be the best father-in-law to my daughter. And that is my own promise to that. I will be the best.
We have to run.
Mother-in-law.
Such a pleasure.
Let me give you 30 seconds to just share a word of advice to women out there, building a career, trying to just get their life on track.
Okay, ladies, if you are watching, like I said, a woman can have it all. It's about being intentional. It's about recognizing the seasons. It's about being passionate about what you want. And all I want to say to you, go for it. And I'll be cheering you along all the way.
So tomorrow's show is very important because we're going to be discussing and reviewing the tribunal. But it's happening today. So please don't miss tomorrow's show. We'd like to hear your views, your thoughts on whatever happens. Please stay safe, be safe, and put Nigeria first. See you tomorrow. Bye for now.
Bye.